It sounds so simple and obvious. Reusing heat in the winter. It's so simple and it seems so obvious, and yet many people aren't doing it. You pay money to heat your home, probably. Probably, definitely. And you don't earn anything for heating your home other than the warmth. And that's why Bitcoin and other crypto mining is such an obvious play in the winter. Let me explain. These miners run 24/7. They consume electricity, and by doing this, they passively generate heat. There are different ways to quiet them down, and that's one of my incoming projects. But I want to talk more about the principle of this. I ran these numbers the other day too. If you had installed solar in the beginning of the bear market, previous crypto bear market, right? And you ran a Bitcoin miner and you held all the coins, right? So you're not paying an electricity bill. Your solar's generating this and it's offsetting that. If you mine up until now and held all of your coins, you would have broken even or more on the solar, which means that you would have free solar on your house in essentially 3 years, maybe 4 years, depending on your time frame. So your solar panel break even wasn't 30 years like they say, or 25 or 20 or whatever. You broke even just based on one device in 4 years. You could also sell that and now you have free solar, right? But the way I look at it is, could have paid off my solar system. Now I have free electricity. I also have this miner device that I've probably paid off as well. And now I can take this heat and use it to heat my home in the winter and either just move it to a different location, like in my shed or something in the hotter months. Or one thing I'm looking at for my garage is setting up a miner in there and cutting an exhaust vent to go to put the heat outside that it makes in the warm months, and then to just turn a valve and it redirects it into the garage in the cold months. That's free heat. I love my garage to be nice and warm. I do a lot of work in there. You may know I track my car, the Bitcoin Supra, which is crazy because Bitcoin's popping off now. A lot of people over the last few years are like, oh, what do you see in it? Or, oh, it's this, that, whatever. Well, I can assure you that it's going to be turning a lot of heads. It's going to be sparking a lot of conversations over the next year at Bitcoin's current trajectory. Honestly, the amount of attention it's probably going to generate, it's uncomfortable. I think that it's a fun way to grow cryptocurrency in general, promote Bitcoin, promote VoskCoin, stuff like that. But I don't like how Bitcoin basically makes you like a public target. It's like running around with like a money sign on your car at this point. And I'm not some lame dude trying to flex, oh, look at me, look at my Lambo, whatever. I thought it was a great way to mesh my passions and build a networking tool. But the point is, I do some car work in the garage. I've got a lot of Milwaukee tools. They're all battery powered. It's not good when your batteries get really cold. It decreases their lifespan. So I aim to never let my garage get too cold. This is an easy passive way to do that. If the garage is warm, it's going to radiate heat into the house. What does that mean? My heating system in the house doesn't have to work as hard. If I really wanted to take this all the way, I could create a bigger heating system with more miners, use a temperature controlled thermostat, and basically when it's too cold in here, it'll blast mining heat throughout the house, and then it'll get to the target temp, it'll flip that closed, and then send that outside. It's also really interesting to look at heat reuse, and if you have a pool, right, and maybe you have a pool heater. Okay, well that's just a device that burns a bunch of electricity to make heat to warm your pool. You can literally do that with Bitcoin miners and get paid while doing so. People are putting Bitcoin in their retirement portfolios now, right? With Bitcoin in general, or Bitcoin ETFs, or Bitcoin mining stocks, among other things. And what this translates to is a very long-term Bitcoin vision. So why wouldn't you want to passively generate Bitcoin with your pool instead of just passively generate bills? Well, there's going to be all kinds of companies that pop up and create these unique solutions. And the bigger Bitcoin gets, the more solutions we're going to see because at some point it's just going to make sense, or Bitcoins. For me personally, I want to install a pool eventually, and I want to heat it with Bitcoin and other crypto miners. I want my garage to be warm in the winter. I want to accomplish that with miners. And maybe depending how your basement's set up, it gets a little cold in the winter. This is a great way to raise that temperature. In a way, it's obvious. Like, why wouldn't you do these things? but it's still seldom done. Don't fall for some BS product that sucks, but it's marketed to be a space heater that earns you coin, right? Get a real miner and then just use it as a space heater that makes you coin effectively, right? Things like Heatbit were terrible value propositions. They used outdated miners in a fancy box. There are easy enough ways, and we're going to work on some new guides to basically tame your miners. They come with these big fans that can spin really fast and make a lot of noise. Awful, right? You could utilize immersion mining. Things like the C2 by fall caching, which we've shown and reviewed in a tutorial here on the channel, is a really cool way to do liquid cooling with mining. And that thing, I mean, it makes like no noise inside, and it puts a little radiator outside your house that no one would even notice even if you lived in like an HOA. Immersion mining is so freaking cool, and I wish that all of these solutions were out and I understood them and I had deployed them many years ago, because there was a period where I lived in a neighborhood with an HOA, and it really constricted what I did, and I thought that I was moving sooner than later for a while. The bottom line is that if these easy, relatively plug-and-play immersion mining solutions were available then I absolutely would have used one. I have an affiliate link with fall caching and the best coupon code they offer throughout the world, so please use our link and support the channel and use our code to support yourself if you do want to grab one. Coin Mining Central is a mining rig seller that we work with, and they've started distributing these too, so that's another option if you want to work with them for whatever reason. They also sell miners. You got a link and code that works for them as well if you want to support our content over there. So shameless plug, you guys supporting our channel helps keep us rocking and rolling, making daily content here on VoskCoin. And if you haven't, please subscribe, right? Hit the thumbs up, share the video, all that stuff. It's an obvious thing. People who make mining content will start singing this tune over and over as we enter the colder months. But I mean, it's really obvious, because if you're paying to heat and then you offset that by using the heat, maybe it's not as efficient or whatever, but let's say your cost is essentially $5 to run the miner. Well, now you're getting $5 of heat, and depending how you look at it and the decreased runtime on your other heat pump and other things in your HVAC home system, you could be essentially zeroing out your running cost or just simply reducing it. And the reduction there just simply results in a higher ROI or a better return on investment. So, of course, it's not investment advice. You do whatever you want to do. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm continuing to expand my mining farm, expand the way I'm using mining rigs, reusing heat. We're in the early stages of maybe game planning a greenhouse that uses Bitcoin mining heat. A lot of simple projects that the more profitable and staying power that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies generate, the more worthwhile and obvious these endeavors become. It's like, why wouldn't you have one? That's kind of what I'm starting to wonder and ask, right? So why haven't you subscribed yet? Why haven't we run 10 seconds of tail? Something we run on every single video here on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. Thanks for tuning in. I hope to see you on the next one.